Kawhi did take a page from the Kobe book. He shot 7 of 8 on jump shots off the dribble, according to Second Spectrum. He's shooting 57% on those shots, this postseason best in the NBA. So there's so much to unpack from this game. Let's start over here by talking about this star. As we watch Kawhi Leonard playing right now, what do we see?
I'm ready to say it, Greeny. He is the second best player in all of basketball. I would have Kevin Durant number 1, Kawhi Leonard number 2, and then LeBron James number 3. Kawhi Leonard, what he's saying, I said he's the next iteration of Scottie Pippen, and he's more evolved offensively. You look at the last 9 games. I mean, in this playoff series alone, he's averaging 38 points, shooting 62% from the field, shooting 46% from the three-point line. And he takes shots at different angles. He's mastered the art of the mid-range game, so he's able to change up the styles in which he's able to play. But just now, let's take away the offensive side. Defensively, all right, Jimmy Butler was 7-11 from the field. He had 19 points at the end of the third quarter. He makes that switch to end the game. Jimmy Butler then goes 2 of 7 from the field with 1 turnover. So defensively, that 8'10" standing reach, that 7'4" wingspan, he's like a condor guarding you defensively, and he's relentless with that pursuit.
He always makes the right play, though. I mean, you talk about all the points, you talk about the defense, talk about how hard he plays. He always makes the right play. We're going to talk about his scoring. How about him and the 2 assists he made in key points of the game where he trusts his teammates? He had a ball screen with Gasol, got in the lane, drew 2. When you draw 2, what happens? Someone's open, he kicks it back to Gasol. Gasol knocked out a big 3. Another play, he got in the lane, he got penetration, kicked it out. It was a wide open baseline jumper. There's Gasol's 3 right there, wide open. Now he gets in the lane once again, draws the second defender, makes the right play. He can score it. He can make other guys better. He defends. And I'll tell you where he's great. He gets a defensive rebound. It's 2 points the other end.
He's gone.
He's got 29 points in transition in this series just by rebounding the ball and getting out in transition and making plays.
Another thing
impacts the game.
that you notice about him in an era where players are so demonstrative and the conversation has been so much about the officials and all that kind of stuff. Kawhi Leonard, I don't know if he plays golf or not, but he would be a great golfer. He has exactly that temperament. You can never tell from his face whether his team is winning or losing, whether he's playing well or badly. He's just a guy who puts his head down and plays on every possession. There's something about that that's somewhat refreshing the way the game is played right now.
I think that's a blessing and a curse a little bit. I think you saw the curse aspect of it towards his latter part of his career with San Antonio, what happened there as far as communicating his feelings about the team. But still, as a player, man, he is the second best player in the game of basketball right now. You can say, how many players can you actually say this to, Greeny? Go guard the other team's best player. Don't be relentless all the time. Don't less up on that. And still give me 38 a night. You can't say that to a lot of people. Maybe, what, LeBron James and him?
Shoots the 3, has a middle game, rebounds, defends. And by the way, it was a mini tiger because when he made the big 3 that finished him off, he gave it a little mini fist bump. It was a mini fist bump. It wasn't a full fist bump. It's kind of a mini fist bump.
For him, that was extraordinarily demonstrative. All right, so there's really 2 storylines going on at the same time with Kawhi because there's the short-term future. They may win a championship. Then there's his long-term future. Laura, talk more about that.
Yeah, we've got Woj here with us all morning, so that means I'm going to give a big demonstrative fist pump for the rest of the morning. But we're talking about it here, and you heard Jay Will saying that Kawhi is the second best player in the NBA. The series is tied 2-2 right now. Do you think that affects at all which teams are front runners for Kawhi's services going forward?
Listen, it only helps Toronto's case that they keep winning in advance. Listen, Toronto knew this when they traded for Kawhi Leonard last summer, that it was going to take the whole year to recruit him. It is hard to get to know him. It is hard to build trust with him. And they were going to need every single day until July 1 to do that. The Clippers have remained in a strong position, and you've seen the Clippers build an organization and a team to try to appeal to Kawhi Leonard, do more, say less, hard-playing role players. They've got an elite coach in Doc Rivers, and Southern California is home for him. I think that's where his focus is going to be heading in July, staying in Toronto or going back to California with the Clippers.
So it really looks like this is probably a 2-team race, and that makes a lot of sense. But you do think he takes some other meetings, right?
I do. I think teams like New York, Philadelphia, Brooklyn, teams who potentially have significant cap space, he may take meetings with them. But I think by the time you get to July 1, typically players have a really strong idea of about where they're going to go. Right. And usually their eyes are not getting opened in a 1-2 hour meeting with a team that they haven't given great consideration to. I think this is Clippers and Raptors. Of course, the Raptors can pay him more. They could pay him a $200 million plus deal if he wants to stay in Toronto.